Okay, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order at 6:34 for the special board meeting on June 1st, 2026. Can I get roll call, please?
Falls, you have here.
Yes, who's here?
Brianna Taxoni here. Agenda for the special board meeting of 6/1/2026. I motion to approve. Can I get a second?
I'll second. Is mic on?
Thank you. There are no changes to the agenda. Thank you.
Okay, call for question.
Falls, you have aye.
Jesus, aye.
Brianna Taxoni, aye. Go ahead and rise for the flag salute. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The civility statement states, communicate clearly and concisely with respect for others' time, listen objectively, carefully considering the opinions of others, understand the counterproductive effects of disruptive, demeaning, and intimidating behaviors, understand and respect the district policies and procedures, respect the district's rich history, and the efforts of others who have served in the past. We have a public hearing, local control and accountability plan, the LCAP. I will open this public hearing at 6:36 p.m.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to call up Dr. Chamberlain, Director of Ed Services, to provide highlights to the updated LCAP plan, which includes goals. Dr. Chamberlain.
Thank you, Dr. Sahakian, and good evening, board members. I will be presenting our LCAP for the upcoming year. You can just go to the next one. So just a quick overview of what our LCAP is. It stands for Local Control Accountability Plan. It's a 3-year plan that describes our goals, actions, services, and our expenditures that support a positive student outcome and that address state and local priorities. The LCAP is developed in an ongoing cycle of continuous improvement and with input from our educational partners to meet the unique needs of the students that we serve. So some of this will be, probably you'll remember from years past, our goals stay the same for 3 years. This is our 2nd year. So please bear with me as I read through our goal. Our first goal focuses on student achievement, and it is that students will demonstrate grade level knowledge in all core subjects and graduate in 4 years in line with the AAD-USD graduation requirements. All students, English learners, foster youths, students eligible for free and reduced meal program, and others who have been less academically successful in the past will have access to a robust course selection that meets their needs and will demonstrate academic achievement. We measure this with 13 metrics, which are based from the California dashboard data, and we have 7 actions that are aligned with professional development, college and career, as well as our graduation rates. An update on our year 2 outcomes for this year. There's a lot in the LCAP, so I'm just trying to highlight some of the highlights for this year. We continued with our professional development. We also continued our year 2 implementation with our iReady, which is kinder through 8th grade. And we also continue with AVID, our summer institute, and district-wide PD. Our career technical education courses offering an expansion of electives at High Desert School. We have increased our graduation credit recovery program through Acellus, and that program runs during the school year for credit recovery as well as during the summer. We saw increases in our English language arts from CAS, which was the state assessment. We saw increases in assessments for our special education students, our low-income students, our English learners, and our Hispanic students. We saw increases in our math CAS assessment scores for our special needs students, our low-income students, and our English learner students. Our English learner progress increased from the lowest indicator on the dashboard to the highest indicator on the dashboard, which if you're on there, it's blue. And our A through G completion rate is at 66% currently. That's a 30% increase. I really do want to highlight that. Our counselors have done a really excellent job. I remember when we created this plan 2 years ago, I put the increase at 30%. Part of it was we were already exceeding what was at 33%. It wasn't being reported correctly through CalPADS, and we've since figured out how to do that, and we're doing that correctly. But our counselor said, Dr. Chamberlain, I don't know if we can do a 30% increase, and I told them I have so much faith in you. They did that within a year. So I'm super proud of them and the work that they're doing, and so I just kind of wanted to call them out. And also increases in our CTE completion and our AP exam scores. Next up is our second goal, Goal 2, in which students will be in school every day in physical and cognitive environments that are safe, caring, clean, conducive to learning, and allow students to thrive. All facilities will be in good repair and equipped for the 21st century learning. Our metrics we have 8 metrics for this that are based on LCAP survey data, suspension rates, and attendance rates. And we have 5 actions that are aligned with social and emotional well-being, chronic absenteeism, and district facilities. So our year 2, I'm so sorry, that should say year 2 outcomes. Our year 2 outcomes, our student perception of school safety increased by 5% based on the LCAP survey. Our suspension rates decreased by 1.1%. That's California dashboard data. Our average student attendance increased by 6.1%. That is also California dashboard data. And our chronic absenteeism rate declined by 20.2%, again from the dashboard. Goal 3 is that our district will recruit and retain quality employees as measured by full employment of teaching staff with appropriate credentials and placed in appropriate assignments. We measure that with 4 metrics that are based on fully credentialed teachers and positive work environment with the LCAP survey, and we have 4 actions that are aligned with the Center for Teacher Innovation, which is our teacher induction program, and school site leadership professional development. Our year 2 outcomes for Goal 3 were induction services continued with the Center for Teacher Innovation in its 4th year, with 7 teachers this year clearing their credentials and 3 moving on to the 2-year program. So 3 additional teachers completed their 1st year. All teachers receive professional development at district professional development and weekly site professional development throughout the school year. And our new and open positions are quickly addressed and filled. And our 4th goal is that our parents and guardians will feel welcomed at their school and have sufficient two-way communication with their school and are provided with knowledge and skills to successfully support and advocate for their child. Our actions include 9 metrics, which overview the LCAP survey, the English Language Advisory Council that we often call ELAC, our Educational Partners Committee, and we have 3 district subcommittees as well as our school site councils. Our 5 actions are aligned with family engagement and communication. And our year 2 outcomes for Goal 4 are to support ELAC and DLAC, that's our English Language Advisory Council, and our district English Language Advisory Council. Staff made phone calls and sent invites to families and community, and translation services were available for all meetings. There was more outreach and input from parents and the community to collaborate on the LCAP goals, the metrics, and analysis through the Educational Partners Committee. And I want to thank any of those that may be listening. We had great support from our parents, our teachers, our classified staff. Often we had like 10 people at the table for that. And so I really appreciate them coming out to learn more about the LCAP. It's a really huge document. It can be very overwhelming, and they were really great with input and feedback, and really appreciate their time on the committee with us. And then our family engagement survey also indicated that we have made progress in creating schools that are welcoming and allow for parent input. And so just to go over what the legal part of the approval process is, the first part is adopting adoption of the LCAP, by the local board by July 1st. It's submitted to the County Office of Education within 5 days of adoption. And then at that point, a formal approval process begins with LACO, between LACO and our district. By August 15th, the County Office of Education can request clarification in writing, and within 5 days, the district must respond in writing to the request for clarification. Within 15 days of receiving a response from the district, the County Office of Education may provide recommendations in writing for amendments. The district must consider the recommendations in a public meeting within 15 days of receiving the recommendations. The County Office of Education has until October 8th to approve the LCAP, and the budget is not approved until the LCAP is approved. And so I also want to present our local performance indicators self-reflection. And these are the local performance indicators. The first is priority 1, which is basic services and conditions. The second is priority 2, which is implementation of state academic standards. Priority 3 is parent and family engagement. Priority 6 is school climate. Priority 7 is access to a broad course of study. All of the LCAP goals and the LCAP metrics are aligned with these priorities, which are required to be part of the LCAP document. And so for our basic services and conditions, which is priority 1, the areas that we have improved are the number of teachers who are appropriately assigned and fully credentialed in their subject area, and the number of vacant teaching positions. This is part of what they're measuring. Currently, we have 55.4% of our teachers fully credentialed, with the remaining teachers working to clear their preliminary and complete their internship programs. And this is why, because we have a lot of teachers on interim and on their preliminary credential, this is why that induction program that we have, where we had 7 teachers complete, is so important. That we provide this 2-year program for our new teachers, and that the district is graciously pays for this program. Also, another area that is measured is the number of students who don't have their own copies of instructional materials. All of our students have those copies. And the number of school facilities that are not in good repair, all of us are 100% in repair. So we meet all of those. For priority 2, the way we meet this priority is by adopting a state board of adopted curriculum and assessments. They're given at regular intervals, and a yearly report of student state dashboard data is presented to the school board. Priority 3, which is family and parent engagement. School sites hold regular meetings for parent groups, including the parent-teacher organization, which is K-8, the parent-teacher-student organization, which is at our high school, our English Language Advisory Committee, as well as our school site council. The district also holds meetings that includes our Educational Partners Committee, our district ELAC, which is our English Language Advisory Committee, our board meetings, our strategic plan meetings, and our district subcommittee meetings. And for priority 6, school climate, the 24-25 LCAP survey feedback indicated 62% of students reported that the facilities are clean and in good repair, and that they felt safe in school. This is a slight improvement from last year, up from 55%. And I believe priority 7 is our final, which is giving students access to a broad course of study. We do this by implementing our career technology education courses, by expanding our graduation credit recovery courses through the implementation of Accelis, by expanding our virtual academy to include K-12, and again, the implementation through Accelis. And we expanded our targeted services for students eligible for special education services. And thank you for listening, and are there any questions?
I have 2. They're pretty simple. I've got 10 or 11 years looking at these documents, and I understand the goal is to tie funding to areas of deficit. So this is not a report that is just about celebrating successes. First, Dr. Chamberlain, I would like to congratulate you on always looking ahead to make sure the development of educational programs in this district on the growth and progressive, but yet fitting to our community. So here's question number 1 from everything you've told us. are there significant indicators that point out that the district is not capable of meeting the diverse needs of students in the general area?
No, in fact, our data would indicate that we're doing very well supporting all of the needs, social emotional learning needs for our diverse student population.
So I remember a few years ago there was homeschooling, there were certain groups of types of schools that meet people that don't come to school, don't go to a public school, those things. So I'm not asking for 100%, but if somebody moves in here, there's something for them, whether it's at the campus, online, or whatever.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, Acton-Agua does, for a small community, has a very comprehensive offering of courses. I know you've heard throughout the year the different schools coming, and all three of the schools really sharing their wide range of courses that we offer our students.
So if I were someone that wanted to move a school into the boundaries, I might find the attendance might be low.
Here,
Yeah, there we go.
our attendance,
You answered my question, thank you. Second question, is there any indicator, significant indicator, and if so, what is it, that tell us that we are unable to retain qualified professional teachers and or participate in the development of teachers seeking a permanent credential? Do we have shortcomings in either of those areas?
no, I don't
Thank you.
believe we do.
Thank you, again, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the presentation. No questions.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for the presentation. I don't have any questions either.
Thank you. Thank you.
If there are no other questions or discussion, I'll close the hearing. Hearing none, I did not hear any other comments, so I will close the hearing at 6:51. 3B, public hearing budget 2026-2027. I will open this hearing at 6:52 p.m.
Thank you, President Taxoni. Please be presenting to our trustees and our community our proposed budget for 26-27. As Mr. Ortiz, thank you, Mr. Ortiz, is helping me with the slides there. The first slide, the types of certifications LEAs receive. There are 3 types: positive certification, qualified certification, negative certification, as you see on your screen. For our fiscal interim reports for the 25-26 fiscal year, LACO has provided our district positive certifications. Next slide, please. Estimated actuals revenues for 25-26 fiscal year. The revenue sources, as we see, LCFF, federal funds, state as well as local funds. Our LCFF revenue increased due to an increase in our enrollment numbers, as we are aware, for the past 4 years, and including for this past fiscal year, an increase in average daily attendance percentage. So the combined revenue is 23 million plus that you see towards the right column, combined. Next slide, please. Estimated actuals expenditures. Can you go one previous? There you go. Thank you. So estimated actuals expenditures 25-26. Okay, I did that. And then one over, Ms. Ortiz, please. Estimated actuals fund balance with an increase of 3% off schedule, as well as a one-time increase of 3%. We are projected to have our fund balance decline by $630,000. That was with negotiations for this fiscal year of 25-26. At the same time, we still have a strong fund balance, also known as our reserve, at 11 million plus. Thank you. District enrollment trends. We have now gone against the trend of declining enrollment these past 4 years here at AADUSD. We are now projected to grow even more for fall of 26, particularly at Little Owls, as part of Meadowlark, as well as Vasquez High School. Proposed budget revenue. Cost of living adjustment, COLA for short, may be going up to 4% for the 26-27 fiscal year. It is listed as 2.78, but it may be going up to 4% per the governor. The governors may revise, but of course it's not confirmed. That's typically solidified by the end of June, by June 30th. In addition, local control funding formula, LCFF, it's based on enrollment as well. 26-27, that is a conservative enrollment of 1,120. Average daily attendance, just based on the attendance trend for this school year, at 95%. As far as additional revenue, federal revenues include mental health, U.S. Department of Education grant, STOP grant from the DOJ, categorical funding such as Title I, II, III, IV, SPED, and other categorical grants, and other state revenue, which includes state lottery, arts block grant, educator effectiveness block grant, ELOP, and others. Moving forward, thank you. Proposed 26-27 revenue. Between unrestricted and restricted categories, the total combined is 24 million plus, as you see on the right-hand side. Unrestricted funds could be used in general terms. Restricted categories are very specific to specific projects, initiatives that the funding could be used for. Next slide, please. Proposed budget expenditures, certificated salaries, as well as classified salaries typically take up the majority of any LEA's budget expenditures, approximately about 75% of that, as well as the employee benefits, which includes STRS, PERS, insurance, retiree benefits, workman's comp, and the others. Also, as part of expenditures, books and supplies, which includes textbook adoptions, instructional materials, office supplies. Services and operating expenses include travel, conferences, professional development, utilities, contracts, and the like, and capital outlay for furniture and equipment for our school sites. Next slide, please. Budget assumptions, expenditures. Step-in column for both certificated and classified on average is 2% year to year as an employee progresses through the salary schedule. The average is about 2% increase per year. That is separate from negotiations. Cal STRS rate is about 19% projected for the years out. You see the Cal PERS rate projected for the few years out. Budget assumptions take into account negotiation settlement for this past fiscal year. Well, we're still in it, 25-26. 3% on schedule, 3% off. Health welfare with additional employer contributions for classified, 1,000, as well as certificated, 2,000. Next slide, please. You're on it, thank you. Proposed budget, 26-27 expenditures with salaries, benefits, books and supplies, services, and capital outlay. The combined proposed expenditure comes in at 25 million plus that you see on the right-hand side column for 26-27. Other funds that you might see in terms of our budget, Fund 13 is cafeteria. You see the ending balance there. Deferred maintenance, Fund 14, as it's commonly referred to, at 87,000. Capital facilities, Fund 25. One expenditure, 251,024. That amount is in reference to the roofing projects that have been discussed, conveyed, and brought forward by the Facilities and Finance Subcommittee to our board. Next slide, multi-year projections, 26 through 2031. As we see the next 4-year span, we continue to deficit spend. We will continue to tackle expenditures in a mindful and conservative approach with support from our 3 subcommittees, along with maintaining and increasing enrollment and ADA percentages. I'm a firm believer of taking care of our own internal controls, which we have been, and we've been taking a very aggressive approach with our ADA, our average daily attendance, and increase in our enrollment trends. The reserves remain very healthy with a 4% minimum threshold for small districts. We've actually increased that to 6% just internally. That's not the minimum requirement. Again, it's 4%, but you can see here the 5-year trend in terms of reserves percentage, as well as amount for economic uncertainty. Next slide, please. And next steps, managing the road ahead for the month of June. All LEAs, we take a look at the adopting the budget, as well as we saw earlier with the former public hearing, the LCAP plan, and that's where we are now. Next slide. So board action. So the California Education Code 42128 requires school district governing boards to approve and certify these reports. I strongly recommend a positive certification for the proposed budget of 26-27 as presented. Thank you. Questions?
One comment. The governor's proposed budget jumping from 2.7 to 4.0 COLA, that's wonderful, but what you're not seeing in the background is some of the focus programs that have been funded for the past several years go unfunded, either completely or significant decreases. When that happens, it's good for the employees, as it should be, but unfortunately, that causes administrators to find funding for things like growth programs. We have had numerous of those mentioned tonight, facilities maintenance, and expansion growth as we're seeing more students come to the district. So giving everybody a big raise is a great thing, but using growth programs and funding and abandonment of facilities maintenance and no hope for expansion and modernization does not impress me at all. Thank you.
The projected funds, do they incorporate the positions that have not been filled yet? Are they included within that?
We include that. We work with HR to anticipate needs, be it instructional aids through IEPs or any other category or classification. So we actually embed that as best as we possibly can. And HR has done a fantastic job for 26-27 in fulfilling and filling the majority of positions currently that are in need. So yes.
Any word on the mental health grant? Is that going to fall out this December, or is it going to?
Well, so far, there's no update there. What we've been told by the Department of Justice and through the courts that it should be concluding December 31st of this calendar year, as of today.
Thank you.
I don't have any questions.
Thank you.
Okay, so if there's no other discussion, I will close the hearing. Closing the hearing at 7:03 p.m. I do actually have a comment. Dr. Sahakian, thank you for filling in and doing the job of 2 major roles in our district. You're shaking your head. This is a lot of work, and you have gone above and beyond to make sure that we have exactly what we need, even though this was out of your realm. And I just want to say thank you for doing the job of 2 people and doing it well. So thank you very much.
Thank you for those kind words.
Sure.
Thanks for bringing that up. Not everyone knows this, and I don't mean to make the superintendent uncomfortable, but several years ago, the superintendent looked at the budget and agreed to take a known upon compensation that was a percentage based on his performance. Sitting in the background had historically been a Me Too. So in some way, raising his salary a percentage and then waiting for the rest of it to kick in. Not only has he not participated in the Me Too for the past 3 years, going into this year, he is continuing to perform and put the money back that would have gone to fill that position back into the budget. Thank you for pointing that out, President.
Yes, thank you, and thank you, Dr. Zahakian. Appreciate it.
Thank you for the comments. Glad to be of service.
Okie dokie, moving on for calendar, our next regular board meeting is June 11th, 2026. The regular board meeting for June 25th, 2026 is canceled. I do want to note that the board, the open board position applications are due on June 19th, and that's for District 4. I know that there's nobody here listening, but if there's anybody out there, please take a look at it, and if you think that you're the right person for the position, fill out that application. It's a whole lot of fun, I promise. And then we will have to schedule a special board meeting towards the end of June in order to hold it's late. In order to hold the interviews for that position. So be looking for that date. It is not set yet, but it will be in June. So please get your application in by June 19th by 4 p.m. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, I will adjourn the meeting. I'll move to adjourn the meeting at 7:06. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Call for question. All those in favor?
Jesus, aye.
Brianna Taxoni, aye. Thank you.